Gosh, I think Ron and I already sent out a statement, but, just to kind of reiterate, I'm sure it hasn't sunk in because it was just a couple days ago that I was even told that this has gone on, and I think back to all the extraordinary people that have entered the hall, and the thought of being in with this class that's coming in is humbling, to say the least, and then of course you begin reflecting on all of the student athletes that made it possible, and all your staffs and all the coaches that gave you jobs, and I think to Jim Dennison giving me my first job as a coach, and then Joe Malmazer giving me a chance to be a head coach, and Andy Geiger giving me a chance to be a Big Ten head coach, and it's and I guess really for me the culmination is the fact that my dad was in the Hall of Fame has always been very special to me, and to join him is special.
President, how did they notify you? What was your reaction when the call came, or if it was a call?
Well, I got a text to call Steve Hatchell at the National Football Foundation, and so I called him, and that's when he alerted me. And the official way that they alert you is they send you an autographed ball. In fact, I should have brought it down. They sent an autographed ball with painted on it, class of 2015, and it arrived yesterday. And so for us to have had the ability to keep it quiet till today is just pretty good. That shows you what Ron Cole will do to keep his employment. And so had a chance to hear from Steve and talk about a lot of the things that will occur over the next year in terms of the class's recognition, and beginning with Monday's game, and then the National Football Foundation banquet in New York City, which I've been to many times, in December, and I think we're going to be a part of the Sugar Bowl, in January 1st, and eventually to end up in Atlanta at some point in time.
Is this something you ever thought about when you first started coaching, and was that ever anything in your mind that said, maybe one day I have to be in the Hall of Fame with my father?
Well, I had been coaching for a while before he was in the Hall of Fame, and when he got into the Hall of Fame, it was a special time for my family. He was not living, unfortunately, but I'm sure there were fleeting moments when you have those quiet, reflective times that don't last long and don't come often, that you thought, gosh, wouldn't that be cool if that ever happened? And then, if you think too long about that, chances are it won't happen, because you won't be doing what you need to do. But obviously that was one of the first things I thought about when the call came, was that I don't know how many fathers and sons are both in the Hall of Fame, but it can't be many. Is that right?
I don't want to use the word, but the pantheon of other coaches that are there now, being in that lofty place.
Well, that's what makes it, pinch yourself time, that you think about the people that you read about and you studied, and you tried to glean things from, what had given them a chance to be successful, and tried to integrate it into your own particular situation, and, then to think you're, I guess on the same wall as they are, or whatever. It's in some ways it makes you feel old, which that shouldn't be one of the feelings, but it, to be thought of as being a part of a Hall of Fame, you look at Hall of Famers and you think, oh, that was back in the day. And but it's, wouldn't want to be next to any other people than those people that are in the hall.
President, you're in several Hall of Fames, and I know they're probably all equal to you, but what's this one really mean? I mean, they're all equal. I'm sure you're in your high school Hall of Fame one here at Youngstown State.
I think any recognition which elicits reflection has its own special things. Your high school Hall of Fame, well, that's a different cast of characters, if you will. Your college and YSU and Summit County, or whatever Hall of Fames you're in, but when you're in a national one, and you think about the honors court that selects, the group of people who select it. And I need to go do a little homework. I haven't really had a chance to really study who's on that honors court that made that decision. But I do know a few of the names, and, to be selected by them, it's awfully special.
This has been a pretty special 12 months for you. Between the presidency and now this.
He's going to be a grandfather, so that's that's even better than this. Don't tell the people. Yeah, strike that from the records. But
I think that's probably already on the line somewhere.
yeah, you don't know why or how things will go or did go or whatever. But chances are, if you keep trying to put one foot in front of the other, you'll be amazed at how good things go. And this last, I'm sure I didn't sit around dreaming about being in the Hall of Fame, and I can promise you I never sat around dreaming about being a college president. And to think two of those things have happened in the last, 12 months is, blessed. I'm sure you read my tweet this morning about gratitude, so you can add that one. Is Andrea still here? I imagine these folks are all followers, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
So, Mr. President, where does this fall? I know we talked a little bit about all these other accomplishments, but where does that fall into that list?
Oh, gosh. I don't spend any time ranking, accomplishments. Sometimes when you run into a student who no one's ever heard of and you think you might have helped make a difference in their life, that's as exhilarating as, something that's very public. So, because it's a part of a long body of work, if you will, it holds a great place, but that's not why anyone gets into coaching, is that, maybe someday they'll be in the Hall of Fame. That just happens to be a byproduct of a lot of good fortune, a lot of great help, a lot of great staff, great student athletes, great fans, bands, family, and a lot of luck. Everyone keeps talking about Monday going to win the national championship, and they want to talk about the 2002, thing, and all they want to bring up is how much luck we had that year. I've got that ring upstairs. It's whether we were lucky or not, the ring's up there, So, but you got to have a lot of that, and it's. I'm not sure it's healthy to rank things.
Did you get a good response? Do you spend the rest of the day answering texts and things like that?
Well, I was in a Butler Museum of Art board meeting here moments ago, and my phone was blowing up, and it was too cold to get my phone out while I was walking over, and then I've been sitting here with you, so my phone's still blowing up. So, I'm sure there'll be a lot of, fun communication going on.
President, in this world we live in today with social media, there's always talk of positions coming opening. This is for coaching, and it's probably a loaded question, but ever consider, is it too early, would you ever consider going back into coaching if the situation is right?
I don't foresee that. You know, they might take me out of the Hall of Fame because I'm still active, so I can't afford to do that. No, I don't foresee that. I'm having too much fun doing what I'm doing, and you know, other people need the opportunity to have the thrill of being the head coach or being on the coaching staff, and there's plenty of people that would like to do it, and I've had my, you know, good times, and you know, I don't foresee that at all. Or have you heard something, well, I'm not doing real well at this deal? So, yeah, right. That this is going to be short-lived? Is that what you're saying?
No. It always seems when a job comes open, though, your name is somewhere mentioned.
Yeah, sure.
Can you just touch on Monday, like kind of what Ohio State's going through as the championship game is 72 hours away now?
Yeah, you know, it's a little bit more like what we experienced when we were at YSU, where you have a short time to get ready for the next game. Unlike, you know, what we had at Ohio State when we had 40 days to get ready for the championship game. So, you know, what you wake up and you find out who you're playing because someone beat someone, and then you get to work on, all of a sudden the game's there because it's such a short window. And so I imagine today, if I had to bet, is a travel day, and before they blink twice, they're going to be lining up and you know, playing that ball game. And so you're so far along in game 14 that you know, the practices aren't long, and you know, everyone knows what both teams are going to do. You're going to have a couple little wrinkles, but you're not going to practice enough to perfect too many wrinkles. And sometimes if you try to use all the wrinkles you used for 13 games, you won't do those very well. So you figured out who you are at that moment. And so, you know, it's, you know, it'll be a lot of fun. I've never been to that Dallas stadium. You know, I've still got a lot of kids that are playing on the team, so it'll be fun to be there to cheer them on and you know, see the spectacle of another national championship game. Someone mentioned today that in the last 24 years, 10 of our teams have played for the national championship between YSU and Ohio State. I mean, if you think about that, in a 24-year span, 10 of our teams have played for the national championship. I don't know what state or region could talk about anything like that. Maybe we're spoiled.
So you had a secret to beat Oregon when you were the head coach. Is there similarities between the teams, or don't you pay that much attention to it?
Well, one of the secrets we had was LeGarrette Blount fumbled going into the end zone, so I don't know how that was a secret. That was good fortune. But, I mean, you know, you can't give them too many possessions. And ideally, if you can possess the ball and score, unfortunately, we kicked too many field goals. But fortunately, we had the ball 42 minutes. And so they didn't have very many possessions. And I think we turned it over once, maybe, if I remember. We did not play the special teams very well. We let all those returns back on us. I think we could have decisively won the game rather than feeling like we, you know, just kind of got out of it. But now this one's for the national championship, so everything is magnified, and so there's two good teams, and couldn't be more excited for the Buckeyes. You have a prediction? Ohio State, of course. Excuse me? By how many? You know, I can't go that far. I'll be accused of betting or whatever. And as long as it's 1 point, it's enough.
Do you have any comments on the rest of the Hall of Fame class? I don't know if you've had a chance to look at this.
You know, I just saw the release that they sent it in embargoed fashion, you know, last night, and with threats that you better not send it to anybody. And just looking down the list, the one thing that I guess I had lost sight of was that Rob Lytle, who's an Ohio boy, played at Michigan, is deceased, which I guess that slipped by me. A I noticed Clinton Jones is on there for Michigan State, and I'm old enough to remember when he played at Cathedral Latin. Most of you aren't old enough to know that there was a Cathedral Latin. But Gatewood from Notre Dame. I think Ricky Williams from Texas is on there, and Art Still. I remember, well, Coach Snyder's we played against them in one of those Fiesta Bowls. And I'm not sure anyone in coaching has ever done as good a job turning a program as Bill Snyder in the history of college football. And so it'll be neat having a chance to reconnect with him.
Is this a year-long kind of festivities for you with this Hall of Fame?
I think there's an occasional, as I mentioned, that there's the December banquet in New York City. Then I think we're to be at the Sugar Bowl for recognition in January, and then at some point there'll be something at the Hall of Fame in Atlanta. So.
Now, when was the actual selection process where they brought a much larger group that was then narrowed down?
I can't answer that. I just got a phone call. I have no idea. There's always a ballot, but I don't even know. I don't know when that ballot was, or I don't know.
As far as you know, are you the first sitting university president a member of the coaching hall of fame?
That's a trivia that probably we have a good chance of being right without going on Google. I'm guessing that, but I don't even know who's. I guess I'm the only sitting president now that's going in the Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure of that, but I don't know if there's ever been one. Ron, do you? Is, yeah.
Do you not think Brian Bosworth's going to join you in that?
Oh, Brian Bosworth's there. That's right.
University president someday for him?
I haven't seen Boz lately, but based on what I remember, probably not.
Could I ask you one more thing just pertaining to Mr. Pelini? This is our really first chance to talk to you about what Bo coming on board,
Sure.
what that kind of means to you, and just what your thoughts on Bo Pelini being head coach here.
Yeah, we're excited. Haven't had a chance to spend too much time with Bo, and because I know how busy coaches are, and he's out there trying to put a staff together and recruit and get his family settled. And this is wild time with only 4 weeks till National Signing Day and all that. But he brings a tremendous passion for the Valley, and that to us is very important. That it's someone who wants to be here, and it means a lot to them, and they have great pride in who we are and what we've done and what we want to do in the future. Obviously, he's had great experiences. Like any of us, some of them were good and some of them weren't as good. But as I talked with Coach Osborne about him during the process, I was pleased as to what a Bo Pelini fan Coach Osborne was. And Coach Osborne's one of those folks up on that Hall of Fame wall that I've admired for many years, and so I'm excited to watch what he does. And it's not easy. There's 2 people playing for the national championship tomorrow from our league, and we're not one of them. And that tells you our league's pretty good. So I'm sure he's anxious for that challenge.
Do you think Coach Pelini can bring a streak of success like you had at YSU?
Well, obviously I don't want to make predictions or whatever, and it's easy to talk about success after the fact. And it's tougher now than it was then, and not that it was easy then, but our league is extremely strong. The competition, nationally is extremely strong, but I'm sure they have no other intentions other than, bringing to Youngstown State, what has been here before and exceed it.
Was this a tough secret for you to keep getting the ball yesterday and all that, or you kind of just go with your day when you got it yesterday?
When you're in this position, you have so many meetings that it really doesn't matter. You don't have time to worry about concealing secrets, because and a lot of the meetings you're in, I'm sure that the people that were in the meetings wouldn't be all that impressed that I got that ball, so. No, I did, so. But anyway, speaking of meetings, we'll see you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.